The girl who didn't chase him. Every girl in Seoul High wanted Min-jae's attention, except the new African transfer student. Min-jae ruled the school like it was his kingdom. When he walked through the corridors, conversations stopped mid-sentence. Girls would show up with homemade kimbap and sweet notes. Boys moved aside when he approached. Even teachers looked the other way when he bent the rules because he was handsome, stubborn, and completely untamable. Min-jae thrived on control. He enjoyed the power that came from being feared and admired in equal measure. It made him feel invincible. But everything shifted the day Nia arrived. The classroom door opened during homeroom, and the teacher's face lit up. "Class, we have a new student joining us from Kenya. Please welcome Nia." She entered with quiet confidence. Her dark skin glowed under the fluorescent lights, her natural hair pulled back elegantly. She didn't scan the room nervously like most new students. She simply found the empty desk by the window and settled in without fanfare. No nervous laughter. No attempt to make friends immediately. And most striking of all, she didn't even glance at Min-jae. He sat up straighter. Who was this girl who didn't know the rules? That afternoon he decided to test her. He tossed his eraser onto her desk and leaned back with his signature smirk. "Pick that up for me." The entire class held its breath. Everyone always did what Min-jae wanted. Nia looked at the eraser, then at him. Her expression remained neutral, her voice steady. "You dropped it. You can pick it up yourself." Shocked gasps rippled through the classroom. Someone's textbook hit the floor with a loud thud. Min-jae's smirk vanished. His jaw tightened. No one, absolutely no one, had ever refused him before. Nia simply turned back to her textbook, dismissing him completely. For the first time in years, Min-jae felt something unfamiliar stirring inside him. Irritation, yes. Confusion, definitely. But also something else. A strange spark of curiosity that wouldn't go away. The following morning, Min-jae arrived at school with a strategy. He needed to figure her out to understand what made her so different. He needed to restore the natural order of things. When he entered the classroom, his usual admirers surrounded him immediately. "Min-jae oppa, good morning. Do you want some of my lunch? Your jacket looks amazing today." He acknowledged them with his typical cool smile, the one that made them blush and giggle. But Nia remained focused on her notebook, completely unaware of his presence. That bothered him more than he cared to admit. He walked directly to her desk and rapped his knuckles against it. She lifted her eyes slowly, calmly. "Yes." He expected nervousness, maybe even fear. Instead, she looked at him like he was just another student. "Nothing special. Do my math assignment," he stated flatly. The girls around him nodded encouragingly. This was normal. They did his homework all the time. Nia closed her notebook carefully. "No." Min-jae blinked. "What did you say?" "No. I won't do your homework for you." Another wave of gasps swept through the classroom. Someone muttered, "Is she trying to get expelled?" Min-jae leaned forward, expecting her to back down. She didn't move an inch. "Do you understand who I am?" he asked, his voice low. She nodded once. "A student who should do his own work." The classroom erupted. Even their homeroom teacher turned around sharply. Min-jae felt heat rushing through his chest. Anger, embarrassment, and something wild he couldn't name. But underneath it all was something that surprised him even more. Fascination. She wasn't intimidated by his reputation. She didn't care about his looks. She treated him like he was ordinary. In that moment, something inside him cracked open. He didn't want to humiliate her or force her to submit. He wanted to understand who she was. And that realization frightened him more than anything ever had. By the third day, the entire school buzzed with rumors. "Did you hear what happened? She rejected Min-jae twice. She doesn't follow him around like the others." Some students watched from a distance, waiting for Min-jae to retaliate. They expected public humiliation, a dramatic confrontation, some display of dominance that would remind everyone who was in charge. But Min-jae did nothing. Instead, he watched Nia from afar, which confused people even more. During lunch period, Nia sat alone under a cherry blossom tree with her meal, ugali, sukuma wiki, and mango juice. She preferred solitude, spaces where she could think clearly. 3 girls suddenly blocked her sunlight. They were Min-jae's most devoted followers. "Listen, new girl," the leader said sharply. "You need to stop disrespecting Min-jae oppa." "Exactly," another chimed in. "You're making him look weak." Nia continued eating, completely calm. "I'm not trying to make him look like anything. I'm just here to study." The girls glared at her. "You should act normal like everyone else." One of them grabbed Nia's juice bottle. Another shoved her food container, spilling some of the contents. That's when Min-jae appeared out of nowhere, his face dark with anger. "What do you think you're doing?" His voice was ice. The girls froze. "Oh, Min-jae oppa, we were helping." "Helping?" He cut them off coldly. "By touching her things." They shrank back. No one had ever seen Min-jae defend someone like this. He usually enjoyed watching people compete for his attention. He stepped between them and Nia, his posture protective. "Touch her again," he said quietly, "and you'll regret it." The girls scattered immediately. Nia looked up at him, surprised but composed. "Why did you do that?" Min-jae didn't have an answer. He didn't understand himself. All he knew was that seeing someone hurt her, even slightly, made his blood boil. After the lunch incident, the school gossip reached a fever pitch. Min-jae protected her. He actually yelled at his own fan club. What's happening to him? But Nia moved through the halls unbothered, carrying her books with quiet dignity. She wasn't afraid of anyone, including Min-jae. Min-jae, however, was a mess internally. He found himself following her without consciously deciding to. When she went to the library, he'd show up minutes later. When she stopped at the water fountain, he'd appear nearby. When she stayed after school, somehow he was still around. Nia noticed, of course, but she said nothing. Not yet. One afternoon, she remained after classes to clean the art supplies she'd used. She enjoyed the peaceful emptiness of the school after hours. The hallways were quiet, and soft light filtered through the windows. She was washing paintbrushes, humming a Swahili melody her grandmother used to sing, when she sensed someone behind her. She turned slowly. Min-jae stood there, hands in his pockets, looking uncertain, a stark contrast to his usual confidence. "What do you want?" Nia asked directly. He swallowed hard. He hated feeling vulnerable. "I want to know why you're not afraid of me." Nia rinsed the brush and set it aside. "Because fear is a choice," she said simply. "And I choose not to be afraid." Min-jae stared at her like she'd spoken in a language he didn't understand. No one had ever taught him anything. Yet this girl, this African transfer student he couldn't control, was somehow changing him. The following week brought a strange new pattern. Whenever Nia entered a room, Min-jae's eyes found her automatically. He didn't approach her with his usual arrogance. He didn't tease or provoke. He simply observed, which made everyone deeply confused. "Is he planning revenge?" Students whispered. "Maybe he's trying to intimidate her. Or maybe he actually likes her." That last comment made Min-jae choke on his water when he overheard it. Like her. Impossible. Ridiculous. He shook his head vigorously, but the thought lingered. Friday morning changed everything again. Nia was walking to school with her sketchbook, her sanctuary, filled with drawings that helped her make sense of the world. Today's sketch showed the Han River at sunset. As she climbed the school stairs, a senior boy blocked her path. He was known for causing trouble. "Hey," he said, snatching her sketchbook. "This yours?" Nia kept her voice level. "Yes. Give it back." He flipped through it carelessly, then tore out a page. Nia's heart clenched, not from fear but from anger. "That's not yours." Put it down. He laughed. Make me. Before Nia could respond, a figure moved behind her with frightening speed. Min-jae slammed the senior against the lockers so hard the metal rattled. His voice came out low and deadly. Touch her things, he hissed, and you'll stop breathing. The senior tried to escape, but Min-jae held him firmly by the collar. The hallway went completely silent. No one had seen Min-jae this furious, not even during fights. Nia stepped closer and touched Min-jae's arm gently. Let him go. Min-jae turned to her, and his expression softened instantly. Without a word, he released the senior. Everyone watched in stunned silence. There was only one person Min-jae listened to now. Only one person who could calm him down. Nia. After the incident, rumors exploded. Min-jae almost destroyed the lockers. He only stopped because Nia told him to. She has some kind of power over him. Min-jae hated the gossip, but he couldn't deny the truth. Nia's voice could calm him faster than anything else in the world. That afternoon, their science teacher announced a partner project. Before anyone could speak, Min-jae said loudly, I'm working with Nia. The classroom went dead silent. Girls exchanged shocked looks. Nia simply opened her notebook. Fine. We can meet after school. They met in the library later. The space smelled like old books and quiet concentration. Min-jae watched as Nia sketched out their project plan. Her handwriting was neat. Her ideas were intelligent. Everything about her was precise and thoughtful. You're different, he said suddenly. Nia didn't look up. Everyone is different. No, Min-jae insisted. Not like you. She kept writing. What does that mean? He struggled to explain. He'd never had to articulate feelings before. He only knew how to fight, intimidate, and lead. I don't scare you, he said quietly. Why? She finally met his eyes. They were warm but strong. Because you're not scary. You're just someone who doesn't know how to be kind yet. The words hit Min-jae like a gentle punch. Not painful, just deeply real. No one had ever been this honest with him. No one had ever seen through his facade so clearly. He didn't know if he should feel angry or grateful. All he knew was that he wanted to hear more from her. He wanted to understand her heart. And maybe, just maybe, he wanted her to understand his. Monday arrived with gray skies and cold wind. Most students hurried inside quickly, but Nia walked at her usual unhurried pace. When she reached her locker, Min-jae was already there, leaning against the wall like he'd been waiting. You're early, Nia observed, entering her combination. I'm always early, he lied. She glanced at him. No, you're not. Min-jae nearly choked. How did she know him so well after such a short time? No one ever called him out. He watched her retrieve her books. Let me carry those, he offered suddenly. Nia paused. Why? Because. He searched for the right words. I want to. She closed her locker. No thank you. I can manage. That confused him even more. Girls usually competed for his attention. But Nia didn't need anything from him. The bell rang, echoing through the corridors. Students rushed past them, but Min-jae didn't move. Nia, he said quietly. Do you hate me? She looked surprised. Why would I hate you? I don't know you well enough for that. Her honesty struck deep. But everyone else. I'm not everyone else, she said gently. Then she walked toward class without waiting. Min-jae watched until she disappeared around the corner. His heart felt strange, like it was learning a new rhythm. He wasn't sure what this feeling was, but he knew one thing. Nia was becoming important to him, and he had no idea how to handle it. During lunch, Nia sat under her usual tree with her food. She'd brought chapati and beef stew today, prepared by her host family that morning. As she ate, shadows approached. 3 senior boys this time. Hey, one said. You're the girl who made Min-jae yell at his fans, right? Nia didn't look up. I didn't make him do anything. They laughed mockingly. Then why is he always around you? Did you threaten him? Did you use some kind of African magic? Nia looked up, annoyed. No. Now please move. I'm trying to eat. The tallest boy smirked. You think you're tough? He reached for her plate, but a hand caught his wrist midair. Strong, unyielding grip. Min-jae. He wasn't shouting this time. His voice was low and dangerous. Move. The boys backed away immediately, but one tried to act brave. Why do you care about her so much? Min-jae stepped forward, his eyes dark. Because she's not someone you touch. Ever. Iran. Nia sighed. You didn't have to do that. He sat beside her, not too close but close enough. Yes, I did. Why? She asked. Min-jae looked at her lunchbox, at the ground, everywhere except her face. Finally he said softly, because when people hurt you, I feel something I don't like. Nia studied him. What kind of something? I don't know, he admitted. It's like fire in my chest and noise in my head. Maybe you're angry, she suggested. No, he said. It's different. It's more. They sat in silence. A cherry blossom petal landed on Nia's shoulder, and she brushed it off calmly. Min-jae watched her, memorizing every small gesture, every breath, every moment of her calmness in the chaos. And he wondered if he was changing or if she was changing him. The next day, their homeroom teacher made an announcement. We'll be hosting a cultural festival next month. Each class must prepare a performance. Everyone cheered. Performances meant dancing, singing, acting, things students loved. But Min-jae groaned internally. He hated group activities. Nia, however, looked interested. What kind of performance? Teacher smiled. Anything that demonstrates teamwork and creativity. A dance, a song, a play, a traditional showcase. The class erupted with suggestions. One girl wanted K-pop dancing. A boy suggested singing. Another suggested a historical drama. Then a student stood up. I think Nia should lead our performance. She's new, but she's brave and creative. Everyone turned to look at her. Nia blinked. Me. Why? Because you're the only one who can work with Min-jae, someone whispered. Min-jae shot them a warning glare. But the teacher nodded approvingly. Nia, would you be willing to help organize? Nia considered it. She didn't seek attention, but she loved creative challenges. Okay, she agreed. I'll help. Later that day, the class gathered in the auditorium to brainstorm. Min-jae stayed near Nia without being asked. A silent guardian. Nia opened her notebook. I think we should create a story performance about courage and transformation. Min-jae stared at the word she'd written. Transformation. Felt significant. A girl clapped enthusiastically. Nia's ideas are always brilliant. The class agreed unanimously. At one point, Nia walked across the auditorium to get supplies. A boy accidentally bumped into her. Min-jae jumped to his feet so fast that everyone gasped. The boy raised his hands defensively. Sorry. It was an accident. Nia sighed. Min-jae, sit down. He sat immediately. The auditorium burst into whispers. Why does he obey her? It's like watching a lion being tamed. This is unreal. But Nia didn't look proud. She looked thoughtful. Min-jae was powerful and feared by everyone. So why did he only soften for her? And why did she feel something warm and confusing growing inside her when he listened? A week passed, and Nia found herself thinking about Min-jae more than she wanted to admit. She caught herself noticing how his hair fell across his forehead, the way his jaw tightened when he was annoyed, the way he stood protectively near her without explanation. Confused her. She'd never felt this way about anyone before. Not in Kenya, not anywhere. During lunch, Min-jae sat beside her silently, carrying his own tray. They'd fallen into this routine naturally. Why do you keep following me? Nia asked suddenly. Min-jae shrugged, trying to appear casual. I'm not following you. Just walking in the same direction. Nia raised an eyebrow. Sure. He hesitated, then spoke softly, almost afraid. I like being around you. Nia's heart skipped. Why? Because. He ran his hand through his hair. I don't know. You're different. You're honest. You're real. You're just. You. Nia felt warmth spreading through her chest. She wanted to look away but couldn't. I like being around you too, she admitted quietly. Min-jae's eyes widened. You do. She nodded. But don't tell anyone. It's complicated. He smiled, the small, genuine smile reserved only for her. Complicated is my favorite kind. Nia's cheeks warmed. She didn't want to admit it, but the way he looked at her made her heart race. The way he said her name made her stomach flutter. And she realized something both terrifying and wonderful. She didn't just like being around him. She liked him. She liked him deeply. The next day in class, Nia tried to concentrate on her work, but Min-jae sat closer than usual, closer than any boy had ever dared. He leaned in slightly. You're quiet today. I'm thinking, she said softly. About me, he teased lightly. Nia's cheeks flushed, but she shook her head. About school. He smiled. Not his typical playful smirk, but a small, sincere smile meant only for her. Later after school, he caught up with her near the lockers, slightly breathless from running. Wait, he said. What is it? She asked. He took a deep breath, gathering courage. I like you, Nia. Blah. And not just. He stopped himself, his heart pounding. He'd never said these words to anyone before. Never felt this vulnerable. Never wanted someone this much. Nia looked at him, her dark eyes reflecting something soft and warm. Min-jae. You don't have to say anything, he said quickly. I just needed you to know. Because you're the only person who's ever made me feel like this. The only person who's ever seen me. Nia stepped closer, her voice gentle. I see you, Min-jae. And I like what I see. His breath caught. Really? She smiled. A real, genuine smile that lit up her entire face. Really? In that moment, standing in the empty hallway with late afternoon sunlight streaming through the windows, something clicked into place. The handsome, feared bully and the brave African transfer student who refused to chase him had found something neither expected. Understanding, respect, and the beginning of something beautiful. If you enjoyed this Afro-Korean love story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next romantic tale. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Would you like to see more stories like this? Thanks for watching and see you in the next story. ****